Hello there, and welcome to this sleepy science zone. Right now, nothing is being asked of you, and that matters more than it seems. Most people think sleep begins when the body feels tired, but modern neuroscience tells a quieter, deeper story. Sleep begins when the brain detects safety, not comfort, not silence, safety. Only when your nervous system decides that nothing urgent is required, that no threat needs monitoring, does the cascade toward rest truly begin. This moment, the moment you finally let go, is not psychological in the way we often imagine. It is biological, it is electrical, it is chemical, and it is happening inside you right now. In the first seconds after you stop striving, your brainstem reduces its constant scanning of the environment. The locus coeruleus, a small but powerful structure responsible for releasing norepinephrine, begins to lower its output. This matters because norepinephrine is the chemical of vigilance. It keeps the mind sharp, alert, and ready to react. As its levels gently decline, the edges of thought soften. Internal dialogue loses urgency. The body receives a subtle message. It is no longer necessary to hold everything together. At the same time, your autonomic nervous system begins to shift balance. The sympathetic branch, responsible for action, tension, and readiness, slowly steps back. The parasympathetic branch moves forward, guided largely by the vagus nerve. Heart rate variability increases, a well-studied marker associated with resilience, emotional regulation, and restorative states. Your heart does not simply slow. It becomes more rhythmically flexible, responding fluidly rather than rigidly. This flexibility is often what people describe as positive energy, but in scientific terms, it is coherence. Your breathing responds before you consciously notice. Inhalations become slightly longer, deeper. Exhalations lengthen even more. This extended exhale activates baroreceptors in the chest and neck, which send calming signals directly to the brain. Cortisol release begins to taper. Blood pressure drops by a few subtle points. Muscles that have been holding low-level tension all day, especially in the jaw, shoulders, and lower back, start to release their grip. Inside your brain, electrical activity begins its descent. Fast beta waves, associated with problem-solving and active thinking, give way to slower alpha rhythms. Alpha waves are not sleep, but they are the gateway. They reflect a mind that is awake without effort, present without strain. Studies using EEG consistently show that alpha dominance increases when individuals feel safe, supported, and unpressured. This is the neurological signature of letting go. What is remarkable is that none of this requires instruction. You do not need to force relaxation. The body already knows how to move toward rest. It has done so every night of your life. All it needs is permission, the absence of demand, the removal of urgency. As you lie here now, your internal systems are negotiating that transition. Cells adjust their metabolic pace. Inflammatory signaling quiets. The immune system subtly reallocates resources toward repair rather than defense. Even gene expression begins to shift, favoring pathways associated with restoration and cellular maintenance. Letting go is not something you do. It is something that happens when nothing else is required. And tonight, in this moment, your body is remembering that ancient sequence, the slow, intelligent unfolding from vigilance into rest. You don't need to follow it. You only need to allow it to continue. As the night deepens, something ancient inside your nervous system begins to listen differently. Your brain is not waiting for silence. It is waiting for consistency, for signals that repeat gently enough to be trusted. Darkness is one of those signals. Predictable rhythms are another. When light levels drop, specialized cells in your retina reduce their stimulation of the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master clock of your brain. This is not just about circadian timing. It is about expectation. Night, biologically speaking, is a long-standing agreement between your environment and your cells that effort can finally loosen. Inside your hypothalamus, melatonin production begins its gradual rise. Contrary to popular belief, melatonin is not a sedative. It does not knock you unconscious. It functions more like a dimmer switch, lowering the intensity of neural firing and reducing the contrast of incoming sensory information. Sounds feel farther away. Thoughts lose their sharp edges. The world becomes less demanding, not because it disappears, but because your brain decides it no longer needs to prioritize it. At the same time, the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, reduces its reactivity. Functional MRI studies consistently show that in states of perceived safety, amygdala activation drops, while connectivity with the prefrontal cortex becomes calmer and less directive. You are no longer scanning for problems. You are no longer rehearsing responses. This is not because everything is resolved, but because resolution is postponed until morning. Your body participates fully in this decision. Core body temperature begins to fall by a fraction of a degree, a necessary shift for sleep onset. Blood flow redistributes toward the skin, especially in the hands and feet, allowing heat to dissipate. This is why warmth can feel comforting at night. It supports the body's natural cooling process rather than fighting it. Deep within your chest, the vagus nerve continues to shape the conversation between body and brain. Each slow breath sends afferent signals upward, informing the brain that the internal environment is stable. The vagal tone improves, promoting digestion, immune regulation, and tissue repair. The gut, often tense during the day, begins to soften its contractions into slower, more rhythmic waves. Even your microbiome follows a diurnal pattern, shifting activity in response to nighttime hormonal signals. What many people describe as positive energy during this phase is not an added force. It is the absence of resistance. Energy that was previously spent on vigilance, posture, decision-making, and emotional regulation becomes available again. Muscles no longer brace. Neural circuits stop competing. The system becomes efficient by becoming quiet. Your brain waves continue their descent. Alpha rhythms blend into early theta patterns, especially in the hippocampus and medial temporal regions. Theta activity is associated with memory integration, emotional processing, and the boundary state between waking and sleep. This is where experiences are sorted without conscious effort. Meaning is distilled without words. Importantly, none of this requires you to think about it. Awareness is not the driver. Biology is. The night does not ask for understanding. It offers permission. As you rest here, your nervous system is learning, once again, that this darkness is not a threat. It is a signal, a familiar one, and your body knows exactly how to respond. At some point in the night, the body makes a quiet decision that rarely reaches conscious awareness. It decides that survival is no longer the priority. This decision is not emotional. It is metabolic, neurological, and deeply automatic. Once made, countless internal systems begin redirecting their energy away from readiness and toward restoration. One of the first changes unfolds at the level of cellular energy use. During the day, cells favor rapid ATP turnover to support movement, attention, and reaction. At night, mitochondrial activity subtly reorganizes. Energy production becomes more efficient, less reactive. Reactive oxygen species decrease, and antioxidant systems are given space to catch up. This shift reduces oxidative stress, a key contributor to cellular aging and inflammation. Hormonal signaling follows a similar pattern. Growth hormone secretion increases shortly after sleep onset, but the preparatory phase begins earlier, right now. Growth hormone does not only support height or muscle. It plays a central role in tissue repair, protein synthesis, and metabolic regulation. Its rise signals the body's commitment to rebuilding rather than responding. Within the immune system, priorities change. Daytime immune activity focuses on surveillance and defense. At night, immune cells transition toward maintenance. T cells and natural killer cells alter their circulation patterns, while cytokine signaling becomes more balanced. This nocturnal immune tuning is one reason consistent sleep is associated with lower rates of chronic inflammation and improved resilience to illness. Muscle tissue responds as well. Reduced sympathetic signaling allows muscle spindles to decrease tone. Micro-contractions that held posture throughout the day begin to resolve. This is not simply relaxation, it is recalibration. Muscle fibers realign their resting length, reducing the background tension that often goes unnoticed until it fades. Inside the cardiovascular system, blood pressure follows its natural nighttime dip. Endothelial cells lining blood vessels experience less shear stress, allowing nitric oxide signaling to improve vascular flexibility. Circulation becomes smoother, more economical. The heart works less, but more efficiently. In the brain, energy demand declines without loss of function. Glial cells increase their activity, clearing metabolic byproducts that accumulate during wakefulness. The glymphatic system, a waste clearance network unique to the sleeping brain, begins preparing for its most active phase. This system relies on reduced neural firing and expanded interstitial space, both of which emerge naturally as you let go. What many people interpret as positive energy flowing through the body is biologically coherence. Systems that were competing for resources begin to synchronize. There is less internal friction, less resistance. The body feels lighter because it is no longer allocating energy to unnecessary tension. This transition does not require awareness. It happens whether or not you notice it. In fact, noticing too much can slow it down. The body prefers neutrality. It moves toward repair when it senses that nothing is watching, nothing is waiting. As you rest here, the shift continues quietly. No signal needs to be sent. The body already received it. As physical systems settle into restoration, the mind undergoes its own form of release. During waking hours, the brain works constantly to organize experience into meaning. It categorizes sensations, evaluates emotions, predicts outcomes, and maintains a coherent narrative of self. This process is useful, but costly. At night, the cost outweighs the benefit. Neuroscience shows that as sleep approaches, large-scale brain networks reduce their tight coordination. The executive control network loosens its dominance. The salience network, responsible for deciding what deserves attention, becomes less reactive. Without these networks insisting on relevance, thoughts are no longer required to resolve. This is why the mind may drift unpredictably now. Images appear without context. Memories surface without explanation. These are not distractions. They are signs that the brain has stopped enforcing structure. Associative regions are free to communicate without oversight. Electrical rhythms reflect this freedom. Theta activity increases in limbic and temporal regions, supporting memory integration and emotional processing without conscious effort. These rhythms allow experiences to be absorbed rather than analyzed. Meaning is retained, but words are no longer necessary. Neurotransmitter balance shifts accordingly. Reduced norepinephrine decreases mental sharpness, but increases emotional softness. Dopamine signaling quiets, reducing the drive to pursue or correct. Acetylcholine supports internal imagery rather than external attention. Together, these changes create a mental state that feels open, unpressured, and unfinished by design. Emotionally, this often manifests as a gentle neutrality, not joy, not sadness, a sense that things can be left alone. This neutrality is not emptiness, it is spaciousness. The brain no longer needs to assign value to every sensation or thought. Time perception changes as well. Without the need to track tasks or outcomes, the brain's internal clock loses precision. Moments stretch or compress. This temporal distortion is a hallmark of the transition toward sleep and reflects reduced engagement of attentional circuits. Importantly, this release is fragile. Effort reactivates structure. Analysis reawakens control networks. The mind lets go only when it senses that it is allowed to. As you remain still, the brain continues to lower its grip. Thoughts may come and go without direction. You do not need to follow them. The mind is not losing coherence. It is returning to a state where coherence no longer needs to be maintained. There is a subtle point in the night when the body no longer prepares for what comes next. During the day, much of your physiology is oriented toward anticipation. Muscles maintain a baseline readiness. Hormones support alertness. Neural circuits constantly simulate future actions. Even when you are resting, the body often remains slightly braced. As night deepens, that bracing begins to dissolve. This change starts in the brainstem, where reticular activating systems reduce their background firing. These systems are responsible for maintaining wakeful tone, even in the absence of conscious effort. When their activity decreases, the body no longer holds itself in reserve. Reaction time lengthens. Reflex thresholds rise. This is not weakness. It is permission. The spinal cord participates in this release. Motor neuron excitability drops, reducing the likelihood of spontaneous muscle activation. Stretch reflexes soften. The body becomes less responsive to internal noise. Small sensations that would have triggered micro-adjustments earlier are now ignored. Stillness becomes the default rather than an achievement. In the endocrine system, timing signals grow more pronounced. The circadian rhythm asserts itself not through force, but through consistency. Hormonal pulses align more smoothly. Insulin sensitivity stabilizes. Leptin and ghrelin, hormones that regulate hunger and satiety, shift toward their nighttime balance. The body signals that intake is no longer required, that maintenance can proceed uninterrupted. Cardiovascular rhythms follow. Heart rate slows, but more importantly, variability increases. This variability reflects adaptability, the ability of the heart to respond to internal signals without strain. A heart that can vary easily is a heart that is not under threat. Blood vessels relax their tone. Circulatory resistance decreases. The entire system moves toward efficiency rather than output. Within connective tissue, hydration patterns change. Fascia, the web-like tissue that surrounds muscles and organs, absorbs fluid more evenly when sympathetic tone is low. This improves tissue glide and reduces the sensation of stiffness. Many people feel this as a spreading warmth or softness, particularly in the back, hips, and neck. The nervous system integrates these signals continuously. It does not wait for a single cue. It responds to patterns. Darkness, stillness, slow breathing, consistent rhythm. Together, these form an unmistakable message. There is no need to prepare. What is often labeled as positive energy at this stage is the absence of counterforce. Energy is no longer spent on readiness. It circulates without obstruction. The body feels held rather than held together. Importantly, this state is not fragile. It does not require maintenance. Once the body has stopped bracing, it prefers to remain unbraced. Interruption would require effort, and effort is precisely what has been set aside. As you rest here, tomorrow no longer needs your participation. Plans can wait without consequence. The body knows how to keep itself safe through the night. You are not unprepared. You are simply no longer preparing. As the layers of physical readiness fall away, the brain settles into a rhythm it enters every night, whether noticed or not. This rhythm is not sleep yet. It is the threshold state where consciousness loosens its structure and awareness becomes diffuse. Neuroscientists refer to this as the hypnagogic phase, a transitional zone characterized by unique electrical patterns and sensory blending. During this phase, theta waves become more prominent across the cortex. These waves support internal imagery, emotional integration, and memory association. They allow experiences to merge without hierarchy. A sound may blend with a memory. A sensation may evoke an image. None of this requires interpretation. The brain is not trying to understand. It is allowing information to reorganize itself. Sensory boundaries soften. The thalamus, which acts as a sensory gatekeeper, reduces the precision of incoming signals. External sounds are still processed, but they lose urgency. Touch becomes less localized. The edges of the body feel less defined. This is not dissociation. It is deprioritization. Language centers quiet further. The need to name experience fades. Thoughts may appear as fragments rather than sentences. This is why inner dialogue often dissolves into impressions at this stage. The brain no longer needs words to track reality. Emotionally, this phase is marked by neutrality with warmth. Limbic activity is present but not reactive. Feelings pass through without triggering response. This allows emotional memory to integrate without reinforcement. Experiences that carried charge during the day are absorbed into broader context. Physiologically, breathing synchronizes with neural rhythm. Respiratory centers in the brainstem align more closely with theta activity. Breaths become slower and more even without instruction. This synchronization further reinforces parasympathetic dominance, deepening the state. The boundary between internal and external attention blurs. Awareness drifts inward, but not toward any object. It becomes spacious, unanchored. Time perception loosens further. The sense of sequence dissolves. This is why moments feel elongated or absent altogether. At this stage, effort is not only unnecessary, it is disruptive. The brain transitions most smoothly when left alone. Observation becomes participation. Analysis becomes interference. As you remain still, the rhythm continues to deepen on its own. Images may arise and fade. Sensations may float without location. You do not need to follow them. The brain knows where it is going. This is not the beginning of sleep. It is the gentle forgetting of wakefulness. As the night carries you further inward, awareness does not end. It changes its shape. During the day, awareness is sharp, directional, and selective. It aims itself at tasks, thoughts, and outcomes. Now, that aiming relaxes. Awareness becomes wide rather than focused, present without needing to land anywhere specific. Neuroscientifically, this corresponds to a continued reduction in frontoparietal control networks. These networks normally decide where attention should go and how long it should stay there. As their influence fades, attention no longer locks onto single points. Instead, it diffuses. This diffusion is not confusion. It is a natural state in which the brain stops prioritizing. At the same time, sensory integration areas begin blending information rather than separating it. The brain no longer insists on clear boundaries between sound, sensation, memory, and imagination. A distant noise may merge with an image. A bodily sensation may evoke a feeling without a story attached. This blending is a hallmark of the pre-sleep state and reflects decreased thalamic filtering. Your sense of self subtly changes as well. During waking hours, the brain maintains a continuous representation of me, my body, my thoughts, my concerns. This representation requires energy and constant updating. As night deepens, the need for this maintenance declines. Self-referential processing quiets. Experience continues, but it is no longer centered around an observer who must manage it. This is often felt as lightness, not physical weightlessness, but psychological ease. The mind no longer checks itself. There is less internal commentary, fewer evaluations. The space between thoughts grows longer, and those spaces feel comfortable rather than empty. Breathing plays a quiet role here. Without conscious control, respiration synchronizes further with neural rhythms. Inhalations and exhalations settle into a slow, even pattern. This rhythm sends continuous signals of stability to the brainstem, reinforcing the message that awareness can remain soft without risk. Physiologically, this state supports deep regulation. Blood glucose levels stabilize. Digestive processes slow into maintenance mode. The body conserves energy while remaining responsive enough to adjust if needed. It is a balance refined over millions of nights. Emotionally, experiences lose their charge. Feelings still arise, but they do not demand response. Without the need to act, emotions are allowed to complete their natural arc and dissolve. This is one reason nighttime often brings emotional clarity by morning. Integration happens when reaction is no longer required. Time perception becomes increasingly fluid. Seconds may stretch or collapse. The brain's internal clock relies on attention to measure duration. As attention diffuses, time loses definition. This temporal softness is not disorientation. It is freedom from sequence. In this state, awareness is not something you hold. It holds you. The effort of staying present dissolves because presence no longer needs maintenance. As you rest here, nothing is missing. Nothing needs to be found. Awareness is already doing less, and that is enough. You are not fading. You are gently spreading out. Beyond this point, the body approaches a threshold it crosses every night, often without memory. This threshold is not marked by a single moment, but by a convergence of signals that together allow sleep to begin. In the brain, slow-wave activity starts to emerge in localized regions. These are the earliest signs of sleep pressure being released. Neurons begin entering brief periods of synchronized rest, even while consciousness lingers. These micro-rests allow neural circuits to reset without full disengagement. The brain is testing stillness. Muscle tone continues to decline. Postural muscles that once resisted gravity now yield more completely to support surfaces. The body's weight feels distributed rather than held. This redistribution reduces proprioceptive feedback, further quieting sensory input to the brain. The vestibular system, responsible for balance and spatial orientation, reduces its activity. This is why sensations of floating, drifting, or gentle movement may arise. These sensations are not imagined. They reflect reduced anchoring to spatial reference points. The brain no longer needs to know exactly where the body is in space. Autonomic regulation deepens. Parasympathetic dominance becomes stable rather than fluctuating. Heart rate remains slow and flexible. Digestive organs receive consistent blood flow. Repair processes accelerate quietly. The body commits to restoration. Neurochemically, gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA, exerts a stronger inhibitory influence across cortical networks. GABA does not induce sleep by force. It reduces noise. It allows competing signals to settle. As neural chatter decreases, coherence increases. The mind experiences this as quiet without effort. Thoughts become less frequent, less formed. When they appear, they dissolve quickly. There is no need to push them away. Their brevity is enough. At this stage, intention becomes irrelevant. Wanting to sleep is unnecessary. The body is already moving toward it. Consciousness lingers only because it has not yet been asked to leave. External awareness fades further. Sounds blend into background. Sensations lose edges. The boundary between inner and outer experience becomes permeable. This permeability allows sleep to arrive without interruption. What remains is a gentle continuity, awareness without focus, body without tension, mind without narrative. This is the doorway. As you remain here, the threshold draws closer on its own. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to be done. Sleep does not require permission. It simply arrives when the way is clear. As the threshold settles behind you, the body receives one final, unmistakable message. Nothing will be demanded for a while. This signal of safety is not delivered through thought. It arrives through rhythm, consistency, and the absence of interruption. Once received, the nervous system no longer checks for confirmation. It commits. Within the brainstem, sleep-promoting nuclei increase their influence. These clusters of neurons do not switch consciousness off. They reduce competition. Wake-promoting circuits lose their priority, allowing quieter signals to guide the system. This shift creates a stable internal environment in which fluctuations no longer matter. The thalamus continues narrowing its sensory gate. Information from the outside world is still detected, but it is no longer relayed with precision. Sounds may register as texture rather than meaning. Touch becomes background. The brain prioritizes internal processes over external awareness, not as a defense, but as an optimization. Blood flow patterns adjust accordingly. Cerebral circulation redistributes toward deeper structures involved in memory consolidation and autonomic regulation. Cortical regions associated with active reasoning receive less supply. This redistribution supports efficiency. Energy goes where it is most needed for restoration. Within the endocrine system, timing becomes dominant over intensity. Hormonal pulses align with circadian expectation rather than immediate stimulus. This alignment stabilizes internal chemistry, reducing variability and conserving resources. The body prefers predictability now, not responsiveness. The immune system enters a coordinated maintenance phase. Microglial cells in the brain increase surveillance for cellular debris while remaining non-reactive. Peripheral immune activity shifts away from rapid response. This balance supports repair without inflammation. It is one of the reasons deep sleep is essential for long-term health. Breathing continues its slow rhythm, now largely independent of conscious influence. Respiratory centers synchronize with cardiac rhythms, creating a steady internal tempo. This tempo reinforces parasympathetic dominance, further reducing the likelihood of arousal. Emotionally, experience becomes neutral and spacious. There is no need to label sensations or track feelings. Emotional processing continues beneath awareness, integrating experiences without reinforcing them. This quiet integration prevents emotional overload and supports psychological resilience. Time perception becomes nearly irrelevant. Without attention, anchoring moments, sequence dissolves. There is no before or after in the usual sense. This temporal quiet is not disorientation. It is the absence of urgency. At this depth, effort has no role. Even the idea of trying to sleep fades. The body has already assumed responsibility. Consciousness lingers only as a soft echo, gradually losing its form. As you remain here, safety is no longer evaluated. It is assumed. The system has committed to rest. Nothing is watching. Nothing is waiting. The night is doing its work. Beyond this point, wakefulness no longer defines the experience. It thins, stretches, and begins to dissolve. The transition is not abrupt. It feels more like slipping beneath a calm surface than crossing a boundary. Awareness remains, but it is no longer centered. Neuronal firing patterns change their character. Large populations of neurons begin synchronizing their rest periods. These synchronized pauses allow deeper restoration while preserving the brain's ability to respond if needed. This balance ensures safety without vigilance. Slow wave activity spreads gradually across cortical regions. These waves reflect deep coordination rather than inactivity. They allow information to be consolidated, memories to be integrated, and neural connections to be refined. The brain uses this time to reorganize itself efficiently. Muscle tone reaches its lowest point without complete disengagement. The body remains responsive but unburdened. Gravity feels distant. Proprioceptive feedback diminishes further, reducing the sense of occupying a defined space. The body feels present without boundaries. Autonomic regulation stabilizes. Parasympathetic dominance is now continuous. Heart rate remains slow and adaptable. Blood pressure settles into its nocturnal range. Digestive processes continue quietly, supporting cellular repair and nutrient redistribution. The glymphatic system becomes more active. Cerebrospinal fluid flows more freely through brain tissue, clearing metabolic waste accumulated during wakefulness. This clearance supports cognitive clarity and neural health. It is one of the most essential functions of deep sleep, and it begins here. Thoughts, if they appear, are fragmentary and fleeting. They lack narrative and intention. There is no need to follow them. They dissolve naturally, like ripples fading on still water. Sensory experience becomes abstract. A sound may blend with an image. A sensation may feel symbolic rather than physical. These experiences do not require interpretation. They are signs that the brain is no longer distinguishing sharply between categories. Emotion remains present without definition. Feelings exist without names, without stories. This allows emotional memory to integrate without reinforcement. It is a quiet form of healing, one that happens best without awareness. At this depth, consciousness is no longer something you hold. It floats. It drifts. It begins to thin. The body and brain are now leading the process completely. As you rest here, wakefulness loosens its final threads. Nothing is ending. Nothing is beginning. You are simply moving beneath the surface, where the night continues its work and you are free to follow. As wakefulness thins further, the mind no longer holds clear outlines. During the day, thoughts arrive with edges, beginnings, endings, definitions. Now, those edges soften. Mental activity does not stop. It spreads. Ideas lose their shape before they can fully form, dissolving back into quiet awareness. This softening reflects changes deep within cortical communication. Neurons increasingly fire in coordinated slow rhythms, pausing together, resting together. These pauses are not empty. They create space for recalibration. Neural circuits that were active all day finally synchronize their rest, allowing energy to redistribute evenly across the brain. The default mode network, once responsible for self-reflection and internal narrative, becomes diffuse. Instead of maintaining identity, it supports integration. Experiences from the day are replayed gently, stripped of urgency and emotion. Memory traces are strengthened or allowed to fade based on relevance, not emotional charge. Language centers quiet almost completely. Inner speech loses coherence, then continuity. This is why thoughts may appear as fragments or impressions rather than sentences. The brain no longer needs language to orient itself. It communicates internally through rhythm and pattern instead. Sensory imagery becomes more fluid. Visual impressions may feel abstract. Colors without objects, movement without direction. These experiences reflect decreased dominance of the visual cortex over interpretation. Sensation exists without needing to represent something specific. Emotion follows a similar path. Limbic activity remains present but unreactive. Feelings no longer rise to demand attention. Without narrative reinforcement, emotions complete their natural cycle and dissolve. This process supports emotional regulation and long-term resilience. Physiologically, the body mirrors this release. Breathing becomes shallow but steady, fully automatic. The chest and abdomen move with minimal effort. Oxygen exchange remains efficient while metabolic demand continues to drop. The body is conserving energy without deprivation. Heart rhythms remain slow and adaptable. Baroreceptor feedback stabilizes circulation. Blood pressure stays low but responsive. The cardiovascular system rests without disengaging. This balance protects organs while allowing repair to proceed. The sense of self becomes indistinct. There is still experience, but no central point organizing it. Awareness exists without ownership. This state is not loss. It is relief from maintenance. The brain no longer needs to hold together a story. Time perception nearly disappears. Without attention marking sequence, moments lose order. There is no waiting, no anticipation. The concept of duration dissolves into continuity. At this stage, effort is no longer possible. Even the idea of trying feels distant. The system has moved beyond choice. It is following an internal sequence refined by countless nights. As you remain here, nothing needs supervision. The mind no longer checks itself. Edges fade without resistance. There is no need to follow the drift. You are already within it. Beyond awareness, beneath thought, the body continues with remarkable precision. Even as consciousness thins, regulation becomes more exact. This is the paradox of sleep. The less aware you are, the more intelligently the body operates. Slow-wave activity strengthens across the cortex. These deep rhythms coordinate large populations of neurons, allowing the brain to enter its most restorative mode. During these waves, neurons alternate between brief activity and extended rest, conserving energy while maintaining communication integrity. The glymphatic system reaches higher efficiency. Cerebrospinal fluid flows through expanded interstitial spaces, washing away metabolic byproducts such as beta-amyloid fragments. This clearance supports long-term cognitive health and is one reason consistent deep sleep is associated with reduced neurodegenerative risk. In the endocrine system, growth hormone pulses become more pronounced. This hormone supports cellular repair, protein synthesis, and tissue regeneration. Bones, muscles, and connective tissues respond quietly, rebuilding microscopic damage accumulated during waking life. The immune system deepens its maintenance role. White blood cells adjust gene expression patterns associated with repair rather than defense. Inflammatory signaling remains low. Immune memory consolidates without triggering response. This balance strengthens resilience without strain. Metabolic processes slow but refine. The liver optimizes glucose storage. Fat metabolism shifts toward conservation and repair. Insulin sensitivity improves. Cells receive exactly what they need without excess. Efficiency replaces urgency. Within the autonomic nervous system, parasympathetic dominance is stable and unchallenged. Heart rate variability remains high. Digestive organs function rhythmically. Smooth muscle tissue throughout the body maintains gentle tone without contraction. The internal environment becomes predictable and safe. Muscle fibers remain relaxed but responsive. The body preserves the ability to adjust position if necessary, but does not prepare for action. Stillness is not enforced. It is chosen automatically. At this depth, consciousness may flicker briefly, then fade. These flickers are not awakenings. They are transitions, the final adjustments before full immersion. Awareness thins because it is no longer needed. There is no longer a distinction between resting and sleeping. The body has entered its resting intelligence, a state where repair, integration, and regulation occur without oversight. Nothing asks for your attention now. Nothing waits for response. The night carries the body forward on its own. You do not need to follow. You do not need to remember. The body knows exactly what to do next. At this depth, awareness no longer arrives in moments. It stretches into continuity. There is no clear transition you can point to and say, "This is where sleep begins." Instead, wakefulness loosens its final threads and blends seamlessly into rest. Consciousness does not shut down. It becomes uncentered, unclaimed. Neuronal populations across the cortex increasingly synchronize their slow oscillations. These waves coordinate timing rather than content. Information is no longer processed for meaning or response. It is sorted, stabilized, or released. Connections that proved useful during the day are reinforced. Others are gently weakened. This selective tuning supports learning without effort. Memory consolidation deepens. The hippocampus replays patterns of activity from earlier experiences, but without emotional intensity. These replays allow memories to migrate into long-term storage across the cortex. What mattered is retained. What did not fades naturally. This is why sleep clarifies without analysis. Emotion follows the same rule. Limbic structures remain active but quiet. Emotional traces are integrated without triggering physiological response. Feelings that were unresolved during the day lose their charge. They are absorbed into context rather than replayed. This integration supports emotional balance without conscious reflection. The sense of location dissolves further. Proprioceptive signals, the body's map of itself in space, are reduced to minimal background input. The vestibular system remains calm. Floating or drifting sensations may pass through awareness briefly, then dissolve. The body is no longer anchored to a precise position. Respiration continues its slow, automatic rhythm. The diaphragm moves with minimal effort. Gas exchange remains efficient, while metabolic demand stays low. The brainstem regulates breathing without interruption, reinforcing stability throughout the system. Heart rhythm remains coherent and adaptable. Baroreceptor feedback maintains gentle regulation. Circulation supports organs evenly. There is no urgency in the system. Everything proceeds according to internal timing rather than external requirement. Time perception is absent. Without attention marking sequence, there is no duration to measure. This absence is not emptiness. It is rest from sequence itself. The nervous system no longer needs to track before and after. At this stage, awareness may flicker briefly, then fade completely. These flickers are not awakenings. They are residual signals passing through networks that are settling. The system is aligning its final parameters for sustained sleep. Nothing is required to complete this transition. Any attempt to notice it would reintroduce structure. The body prefers neutrality. It moves most efficiently when it is not observed. As you rest here, continuity replaces effort. There is no need to cross a threshold. You are already within it. Sleep is not arriving. It has quietly surrounded you. Once sustained, sleep establishes itself. The body assumes full control. Regulation becomes rhythmic, predictable, and precise. Conscious oversight is unnecessary. In its absence, the system performs at its most refined level. Slow-wave sleep stabilizes across the cortex. These deep oscillations coordinate widespread neural rest. While preserving essential responsiveness, neurons alternate between active bursts and extended pauses, conserving energy while maintaining structural integrity. This pattern supports synaptic homeostasis, the balancing of neural connections that prevents overload and preserves learning capacity. The glymphatic system operates at peak efficiency. Cerebrospinal fluid moves steadily through brain tissue, clearing metabolic waste produced during wakefulness. This clearance supports long-term neural health and cognitive clarity. It is one of the most critical functions of deep sleep, and it proceeds without awareness. Growth hormone pulses continue, supporting tissue repair throughout the body. Muscle fibers rebuild microdamage. Bones reinforce density. Connective tissues restore elasticity. Cellular processes favor synthesis over breakdown. The body invests in longevity rather than output. Immune regulation remains balanced. Inflammatory signaling stays low. Immune cells adjust gene expression to support repair, memory consolidation, and resilience. This quiet tuning strengthens defenses without activating them unnecessarily. Metabolic systems refine their nighttime mode. The liver manages glucose storage precisely. Fat metabolism supports cellular maintenance. Insulin sensitivity remains high. Cells receive nutrients efficiently without excess. Energy use is optimized for repair. Autonomic stability deepens. Parasympathetic dominance remains uninterrupted. Heart rate stays slow and flexible. Digestive rhythms continue smoothly. Smooth muscle tissue throughout the body maintains gentle tone without contraction. The internal environment is consistent and safe. Muscle tone remains low but responsive. The body preserves the ability to adjust position if needed, but does not prepare for action. Stillness is maintained without effort. Gravity feels distant. The sense of having a body becomes abstract. Dreaming may emerge later as brain activity shifts, but at this stage, experience is minimal. There may be no images, no stories, no sensations worth remembering. This absence is not a void. It is the space in which restoration occurs most effectively. Time has no meaning here. The system no longer tracks progress. Repair unfolds according to internal sequences shaped by biology, not intention. Nothing asks for awareness. Nothing responds to effort. The body rests in its own intelligence. You do not need to stay. You do not need to go. The night holds everything and carries it forward, exactly as it should. In deep sleep, the body enters a state that is both simple and exquisitely organized. Nothing dramatic announces this phase. There is no signal, no awareness of arrival. Yet beneath the surface, coordination reaches its highest level. Systems that operated independently during the day now align into a single, steady rhythm. Neural activity settles into broad, slow oscillations that travel across the cortex like gentle tides. These waves synchronize distant regions of the brain, allowing them to rest together rather than in isolation. This coordination reduces energy demand while preserving communication pathways. The brain is not offline. It is unified. Synaptic activity adjusts subtly. Connections that were heavily used during waking hours are scaled back, preventing saturation. Less used pathways are preserved or gently pruned. This process, known as synaptic homeostasis, keeps the brain flexible and efficient. Learning is not erased. It is refined. The hippocampus continues its quiet dialogue with the cortex, replaying patterns from the day at a slower pace. These replays do not carry images or narratives. They are electrical signatures stripped of emotion and urgency. Memory becomes structure rather than experience. What remains is essence. Blood flow follows these priorities. Circulation favors deep brain structures and organs engaged in repair. Peripheral systems receive steady, sufficient supply without fluctuation. The heart works rhythmically, without strain or anticipation. Variability remains high, signaling safety and adaptability. Respiration remains slow and even. The brainstem maintains rhythm without interruption. Oxygen delivery matches reduced metabolic demand precisely. There is no excess, no deficit. Balance is maintained effortlessly. The endocrine system continues its nighttime sequence. Growth hormone pulses align with slow-wave activity, reinforcing tissue repair. Thyroid activity decreases slightly, conserving energy. Reproductive hormones follow circadian timing, maintaining long-term balance. The body invests in stability rather than immediacy. Within the immune system, communication shifts toward maintenance and memory. Cells repair microdamage, update recognition patterns, and conserve resources. Inflammation remains suppressed. Defense is present without activation. Muscle tissue remains relaxed and hydrated. Connective tissues absorb fluid evenly, restoring elasticity. Joints experience minimal load. The body's physical structure resets toward its natural baseline. There is no sense of effort here. No holding, no release. These concepts belong to waking life. In deep sleep, regulation replaces action. Everything proceeds according to internal timing refined by evolution. Consciousness is absent not because it was removed, but because it is unnecessary. Awareness has no role in this phase. The system does not benefit from observation. It benefits from continuity. Time does not pass here in the way it does during the day. There is no sequence to follow, no moment to occupy. Repair unfolds outside of experience. Nothing can be done to improve this state. Nothing needs correction. The architecture is already complete. The body rests without instruction. The brain restores without attention. The night moves forward on its own. As deep sleep continues, restoration is no longer one process among many. It becomes the primary activity of the entire system. Every signal, every rhythm, every exchange supports maintenance rather than response. Slow-wave activity remains dominant, anchoring neural coordination. These waves allow neurons to enter extended rest phases while preserving their capacity to fire when needed. Energy consumption drops further. Efficiency increases. The glymphatic system maintains steady flow. Cerebrospinal fluid circulates through brain tissue, clearing waste with precision. This clearance is continuous rather than episodic. It supports long-term neural health without fluctuation. Cellular repair accelerates. DNA repair mechanisms operate quietly, correcting minor damage accumulated during waking hours. Protein synthesis proceeds steadily. Cellular membranes restore integrity. These processes occur without sensation, without awareness. In the cardiovascular system, rhythm remains stable. Blood pressure stays within its nocturnal range. Vascular tone remains relaxed. Endothelial function improves, supporting long-term cardiovascular health. Digestive organs operate in maintenance mode. The gut lining repairs microabrasions. The microbiome follows its circadian rhythm, shifting activity toward stability. Nutrient absorption supports cellular needs rather than energy demand. The musculoskeletal system continues to reset. Muscle fibers restore resting length. Fascia remains hydrated and pliable. The body's physical form returns toward equilibrium. Thermoregulation remains precise. Core temperature stays slightly reduced, conserving energy and supporting sleep stability. Peripheral circulation adjusts subtly to maintain balance without arousal. There is no dreaming yet, or if there is, it is minimal and non-narrative. Imagery, if present, is fleeting and unstructured. The brain prioritizes repair over representation. Emotion remains absent without loss. Emotional memory integrates quietly, without reinforcement. Psychological balance improves without intervention. At this depth, there is no distinction between rest and activity. Restoration is activity. The body does not wait. It proceeds. Nothing needs to be remembered. Nothing needs to be followed. The system moves according to its own intelligence. Sleep is not something happening to you. It is something happening for you, without effort, without awareness, without interruption. As the night stretches on, the body enters a plateau of deep stability. This is not a descent anymore. It is a sustained state. Change slows. Variability narrows. The system has found its resting depth and remains there without drifting. Neural activity stays synchronized in slow wave patterns, allowing large regions of the brain to rest together. These waves do not carry information. They carry timing. Their role is to coordinate rest, ensuring that no area is left active while others recover. This coordination prevents imbalance and preserves long-term neural efficiency. Synaptic recalibration continues steadily. Connections strengthened during the day are gently scaled back to sustainable levels. This scaling does not erase learning. It preserves signal clarity by reducing noise. The brain protects itself from overload by restoring proportionality. Memory processing remains active but invisible. The hippocampus completes its transfer of stabilized memories to the cortex. Emotional weight is stripped away. What remains is structure, facts, patterns, and relationships, without the stress that once accompanied them. The endocrine system maintains its nighttime cadence. Growth hormone release continues in pulses aligned with slow-wave activity. Cortisol remains low and stable. This hormonal environment favors repair, immune balance, and metabolic efficiency. In the immune system, repair processes dominate. Cells replace damaged components. Inflammatory pathways stay suppressed. Immune memory is updated quietly. This work strengthens resilience without triggering defense. The cardiovascular system remains steady and adaptive. Heart rate stays slow. Variability remains high. Blood vessels maintain relaxed tone. Oxygen delivery matches reduced demand precisely. There is no urgency anywhere in the system. Respiration continues its minimal, efficient rhythm. Breathing supports gas exchange without drawing attention. The brainstem maintains control seamlessly. Oxygen and carbon dioxide balance remains stable. Musculoskeletal tissues remain fully released. Muscles maintain length without contraction. Connective tissues stay hydrated. Joints experience minimal load. The body's physical structure rests in neutrality. Thermoregulation remains precise. Core temperature stays slightly reduced. Peripheral circulation adjusts subtly to maintain balance. These adjustments occur without arousal, preserving sleep depth. There is no narrative here, no imagery, no sense of time passing. Consciousness is absent because it is unnecessary. The system functions optimally without observation. This plateau can last minutes or hours. Duration does not matter. What matters is continuity. Each moment sustains the conditions required for restoration. Nothing accelerates this phase. Nothing improves it. The body does not respond to effort here. It responds only to consistency. Rest is not something that happens and ends. It is something that holds steady, doing its work quietly, without interruption. At this depth, the night itself feels like a container, not something external, but a condition the body recognizes. Everything inside that condition becomes predictable, safe, and unchallenged. Neural networks remain in their slow, coordinated rhythm. No region asserts dominance. No circuit demands priority. This equality allows the brain to maintain structural integrity while conserving energy. Balance replaces hierarchy. The glymphatic system continues its steady flow, clearing residual metabolic byproducts. This clearance does not spike or fade. It proceeds evenly, supporting neural health without fluctuation. The brain maintains itself quietly. Cellular repair remains constant. Mitochondria optimize efficiency. DNA repair mechanisms continue correcting minor errors. Protein synthesis proceeds at a measured pace. Cells restore their internal environment without urgency. Metabolic systems remain stable. Glucose regulation stays precise. Fat metabolism supports maintenance. Insulin sensitivity remains high. The body operates in conservation mode without deprivation. The immune system continues its low-profile maintenance. Surveillance occurs without reaction. Repair without inflammation. Memory without defense. This balance supports long-term stability. Cardiovascular rhythms remain unchallenged. Heart rate stays slow. Blood pressure remains low. Vascular tone stays relaxed. Circulation supports organs evenly. There is no strain anywhere in the system. Breathing remains automatic and minimal. The diaphragm moves gently. Gas exchange remains efficient. Respiratory rhythm reinforces parasympathetic dominance continuously. Muscle tone stays low and responsive. The body maintains the ability to shift if needed, but does not prepare to act. Stillness remains effortless. There is no sense of position, no sense of boundary. The body exists without needing to locate itself. Gravity is present but irrelevant. Time has no structure here. There is no sequence to follow, no progress to track. The night does not move forward in experience, only in physiology. This is not emptiness. It is fullness without content. The system is active, but its activity is not experienced. Nothing can disturb this state unless demand returns. And demand has been set aside. The body knows it is allowed to remain here. You do not need to be present. You do not need to remember. The night holds everything gently, and the body rests inside it, exactly as it should. As the night continues, the body remains within an unbroken field of stillness. This is not inactivity. It is completion in progress. Systems that began their work earlier now move through the final stages of restoration, guided by timing rather than urgency. Neural slow waves remain steady, allowing communication across the brain without demand. These waves coordinate rest so precisely that no region is left behind. Areas that were most active during the day receive proportionally deeper recovery. This targeted restoration preserves balance and prevents fatigue from accumulating night after night. Synaptic recalibration reaches its quiet conclusion. Neural connections that proved useful stabilize at efficient strengths. Excess signaling fades. The brain emerges prepared for clarity, not overload. Learning capacity renews itself without effort or awareness. Memory processing completes its integration. Experiences settle into long-term networks without emotional weight. What remains is usable structure rather than lived sensation. The mind will not remember this work, but it will benefit from it. The endocrine system maintains its restorative cadence. Growth hormone pulses taper naturally as repair needs are met. Cortisol remains low. Thyroid activity stays reduced. Hormonal balance reflects stability rather than readiness. Immune regulation completes its maintenance cycle. Cells finish repairing microdamage. Inflammatory signaling remains quiet. Immune memory stabilizes. The system emerges more resilient without ever having been activated. Metabolic systems maintain their efficient nighttime mode. Energy expenditure remains low. Nutrient distribution supports cellular repair. The liver completes its regulatory tasks. The body conserves without deprivation. Cardiovascular rhythms remain smooth. Heart rate stays slow and flexible. Blood pressure remains low and stable. Vascular tone supports circulation without resistance. Organs receive steady supply without fluctuation. Respiration continues quietly, fully automatic. The brainstem regulates breathing with precision. Gas exchange remains balanced. Oxygen demand stays minimal. The system maintains equilibrium effortlessly. Musculoskeletal tissues rest fully. Muscle fibers maintain optimal length. Connective tissues remain hydrated. Joints remain unloaded. The body's physical structure settles into its natural baseline. There is no awareness of this work. Consciousness is absent because it serves no function here. Observation would add nothing. The body completes its sequence without supervision. Time remains unmarked. There is no sense of duration. The night does not progress in experience, only in physiology. Completion occurs without milestones. This stillness is not fragile. It is stable. It holds until morning approaches naturally. No internal signal urges change. The system remains where it is needed. Nothing interrupts. Nothing accelerates. Nothing needs correction. The body finishes what it began, quietly, precisely, and completely. As the deepest hours pass, the night continues to hold the body in its restorative state. This holding is not active. It is permissive. Nothing pushes the system forward. Nothing pulls it back. Balance sustains itself. Neural rhythms remain slow and coordinated. Those subtle shifts begin preparing the brain for eventual transition. These shifts do not wake you. They simply ensure that restoration does not become rigidity. Flexibility is preserved even in rest. Hormonal signals remain stable. Growth hormone has completed most of its work. Cortisol stays low. Melatonin remains present, maintaining circadian alignment. The endocrine system keeps time without urgency. The immune system settles into baseline readiness. Repair processes conclude. Surveillance continues quietly. Resilience is reinforced without activation. Metabolic systems remain efficient. Energy use stays low. Cellular stores are balanced. The body holds its resources without strain. Cardiovascular stability continues uninterrupted. Heart rhythm remains adaptable. Vascular tone stays relaxed. Circulation supports organs evenly. Respiration remains slow and automatic. The body maintains gas exchange precisely. There's no disturbance, no adjustment required. Muscle tone stays minimal. The body remains fully supported. Gravity is present but irrelevant. The sense of having a body remains distant. Consciousness remains absent. There is no observer, no narrative, no awareness of night or time. Experience has dissolved into function. This phase is not something to be extended or shortened. It exists for as long as needed. The system determines duration without instruction. As morning approaches, preparation will occur gradually and gently. There will be no abrupt shift. For now, the night maintains its hold. Nothing asks for attention. Nothing responds to effort. The body remains at rest, complete, supported, and safe. The night continues quietly, holding everything steady until it is time to let go. Long before morning is noticed, the body begins a subtle rebalancing. This is not an awakening. It is an adjustment that happens quietly, beneath experience, ensuring that restoration remains flexible rather than fixed. The system does not move abruptly. It fine-tunes. Neural rhythms remain slow and coordinated, yet their patterns gain gentle complexity. Slow waves continue to dominate, but brief, localized shifts appear across the cortex. These shifts do not interrupt rest. They preserve responsiveness. The brain maintains the ability to transition smoothly when needed, without abandoning depth. Hormonal signaling reflects this balance. Melatonin remains present, anchoring circadian alignment, while cortisol begins its slow, pre-dawn rise. This rise is not stimulation. It is preparation. Cortisol at this level supports blood sugar regulation and vascular tone, not alertness. The body is not being asked to wake. It is being allowed to be ready later. Metabolic systems adjust accordingly. The liver begins preparing glucose availability for the coming day, but release remains minimal. Energy stores are protected. There is no demand for output. Cells continue operating in repair mode while preserving adaptability. The cardiovascular system remains calm and efficient. Heart rate stays slow. Variability remains high. Vascular tone stays relaxed. These parameters ensure that the system can respond when required, without prematurely leaving rest. Respiration continues automatically, steady and quiet. Breathing remains synchronized with neural rhythms. Gas exchange supports minimal metabolic demand. The body maintains equilibrium effortlessly. Within the immune system, maintenance transitions toward readiness without activation. Repair processes conclude their final stages. Surveillance remains passive. Resilience is preserved without defense. Muscle tone remains low and responsive. The body maintains the ability to adjust position if needed. but does not prepare for action. Stillness continues to be the default. Consciousness remains absent. There is no sense of anticipation, no awareness of time. The brain does not mark these changes. They occur outside experience, guided by internal timing rather than attention. This rebalancing is essential. Without it, waking would be abrupt. With it, transition remains gentle. The body protects itself from shock by preparing quietly, without crossing the threshold into alertness. Nothing needs to happen here. Nothing needs to be noticed. The system performs these adjustments automatically, as it has every night of your life. Rest does not end when preparation begins. Preparation does not disturb rest. They coexist quietly, each supporting the other. The night remains intact, holding the body steady, while ensuring that when the time comes, nothing will need to rush. As the night reaches its later hours, rest remains deep, though its character subtly shifts. This is not lightening. It is refinement. The body maintains restoration while preserving the ability to return gently to awareness when appropriate. Neural activity continues its coordinated patterns, though slow-wave dominance gradually shares space with brief periods of lighter synchronization. These periods do not form dreams or thoughts. They maintain continuity. The brain ensures that transitions will be smooth rather than abrupt. Hormonal rhythms continue their gradual progression. Cortisol rises incrementally, still far below levels associated with stress or alertness. Melatonin remains present, maintaining the boundary of night. This overlap creates a buffer, preventing sudden change. Metabolic regulation remains precise. Energy stores stay protected. Cellular repair continues without interruption. The body does not shift toward activity. It simply ensures availability. The cardiovascular system remains stable and adaptive. Heart rate stays slow. Blood pressure remains low. Vascular flexibility supports gentle transition without demand. Respiration remains automatic and even. Breathing continues to support equilibrium without effort. The brainstem maintains rhythm seamlessly. Immune regulation remains balanced. Repair processes conclude. Surveillance remains passive. The system emerges reinforced without having been activated. Musculoskeletal tissues remain fully released. Muscles maintain resting length. Connective tissues remain hydrated. The body remains supported and unburdened. There is no awareness of nearing morning. Time remains unmarked. Experience remains absent. The system does not anticipate. It follows sequence. This phase exists to ensure continuity. It prevents abruptness. It allows the night to end without breaking. The body prepares without leaving rest. Nothing pulls awareness back yet. Nothing asks for attention. Consciousness remains unnecessary. The night still holds. Rest remains complete. Transition waits patiently. When awareness eventually returns, it will do so gently, without resistance. For now, the body remains where it needs to be, supported by the final quiet hours of the night. Nothing changes suddenly. Nothing is required. The night completes its work in stillness, and the body rests within it, undisturbed. In the later stretch of the night, the body begins restoring readiness without abandoning rest. This phase is not about waking. It is about balance. Systems that were fully turned inward gradually regain flexibility, ensuring that the transition toward awareness will be smooth rather than abrupt. Neural coordination subtly changes. Slow wave activity remains present. But brief periods of lighter synchronization appear more frequently across cortical regions. These shifts are not conscious. They are structural. They preserve the brain's ability to respond when needed without interrupting restoration. The brain is not preparing to think. It is preparing to function. Hormonal rhythms continue their gradual progression. Cortisol rises slightly, still within a restorative range. At this level, cortisol supports glucose regulation, vascular tone, and immune balance rather than alertness. Melatonin remains present, maintaining the protective boundary of night. The overlap between these hormones creates continuity rather than contrast. Metabolic systems adjust accordingly. The liver increases its readiness to release glucose later, but actual output remains minimal. Cells continue operating in repair mode. Energy availability increases in potential, not in use. The body maintains efficiency without shifting toward demand. The cardiovascular system reflects this balance. Heart rate remains slow and adaptable. Blood pressure stays low. Vascular tone remains relaxed but responsive. These conditions ensure that circulation can adjust smoothly when the time comes, without shock or strain. Respiration continues automatically, steady and quiet. Breathing remains synchronized with neural rhythms. Gas exchange remains precise. There is no sense of effort. The body maintains equilibrium effortlessly. Within the immune system, repair concludes its final stages. Surveillance remains passive. Immune memory stabilizes. The system transitions from deep maintenance toward baseline readiness without activation. Resilience is preserved without defense. Muscle tone remains low and responsive. The body maintains the ability to move if needed, but does not prepare for action. Stillness remains effortless. Gravity remains distant. Consciousness remains absent. There is no awareness of readiness returning. The brain does not track these changes. They occur outside experience, guided by internal timing rather than attention. This phase exists to prevent abruptness. Without it, waking would feel jarring. With it, transition becomes gentle. The body protects itself by preparing quietly, without crossing thresholds prematurely. Nothing needs to be noticed here. Nothing needs to be directed. The system has rehearsed this sequence across a lifetime of nights. It knows how to restore readiness without disturbing rest. Rest does not end when readiness returns. Readiness does not require awareness. They coexist quietly, each supporting the other. The night continues to hold the body steady and safe, while ensuring that when awareness eventually returns, nothing will need to hurry. As the night approaches its natural conclusion, the body remains within a quiet boundary. This boundary is not a line between sleeping and waking. It is a zone where restoration completes itself and continuity is preserved. Neural rhythms remain coordinated, though lighter patterns appear more often. These patterns do not form thoughts or images. They maintain integration. The brain ensures that no abrupt shift will be required. Function returns gradually, without demand. Hormonal signaling reflects completion. Melatonin remains present, though its influence will slowly recede later. Cortisol continues its gentle rise, still far below waking levels. The endocrine system keeps time without urgency, preserving stability. Metabolic regulation remains precise. Energy stores are balanced. Cellular repair concludes its final processes. The body holds its resources without strain, prepared but unactivated. The cardiovascular system remains calm and adaptable. Heart rhythm stays slow. Blood pressure remains low. Vascular tone supports continuity. Circulation remains smooth and efficient. Respiration remains automatic and even. The body maintains gas exchange precisely. There is no adjustment required. The brainstem regulates breathing seamlessly. Immune regulation remains balanced. Repair is complete. Surveillance remains passive. The system emerges strengthened without having been challenged. Musculoskeletal tissues remain fully released. Muscles maintain resting length. Connective tissues remain hydrated. The body remains supported and unburdened. Consciousness remains unnecessary. There is no observer, no narrative, no sense of time. Experience remains absent. Function continues. This boundary exists to ensure completion. It allows the night to finish its work without interruption. It preserves the integrity of rest until awareness is truly required. Nothing pulls you back yet. Nothing asks for attention. The night still holds. When awareness eventually returns, it will do so gently, without resistance or urgency. For now, the body remains exactly where it needs to be, supported by the quiet completion of the night. Nothing ends abruptly. Nothing begins suddenly. The night completes itself in stillness, and the body rests within it, safe, whole, and undisturbed. In this final stretch of the night, the body remains deeply at rest, yet no longer sealed away from the world. This is not waking. It is a soft readiness that exists without direction. The system stays calm, stable, and supported, while keeping the path back to awareness open and smooth. Neural activity continues its coordinated rhythm, now blending deep, slow waves with brief, gentle periods of lighter synchronization. These shifts do not produce thoughts or dreams. They function like internal checks, ensuring that communication pathways remain intact. The brain preserves continuity so that nothing needs to restart abruptly. Hormonal timing continues its quiet progression. Cortisol rises slightly more, still within a restorative range. At this level, it supports blood sugar stability and vascular tone, not alertness. Melatonin remains present, holding the boundary of night. The overlap between these signals ensures a gradual transition rather than a sharp contrast. Metabolic systems remain efficient and balanced. The liver fine-tunes glucose availability for later use without releasing it prematurely. Cells continue operating in maintenance mode. Energy remains conserved, ready, but unused. The body does not shift into activity. It simply ensures that resources are accessible when needed. Cardiovascular regulation reflects this readiness without urgency. Heart rate remains slow and adaptable. Blood pressure stays low. Vascular tone remains relaxed but responsive. Circulation remains smooth, ensuring that organs are supported without stimulation. Respiration continues automatically, steady and quiet. Breathing remains synchronized with neural rhythms. Gas exchange remains precise. There is no sensation of effort, no need for adjustment. The body maintains equilibrium without interruption. The immune system settles fully into baseline readiness. Repair processes are complete. Surveillance remains passive. Resilience is preserved without activation. The system is prepared without being engaged. Muscle tone remains low and responsive. The body maintains the ability to move if required, but does not anticipate movement. Stillness remains effortless. The sense of physical boundaries remains soft and distant. Consciousness remains minimal or absent. There is no anticipation of morning, no awareness of time. The brain does not track this phase. It unfolds outside experience, guided by internal timing refined over a lifetime. This moment exists to protect gentleness. Without it, awareness would return too suddenly. With it, the transition remains fluid. The body ensures that waking, when it happens, will feel natural rather than forced. Nothing needs to be noticed here. Nothing needs to be guided. The system knows exactly how to prepare without disturbing rest. The night still holds you, not tightly, but securely, allowing everything to remain calm, balanced, and safe. Eventually, without any clear signal, the night begins to loosen its hold. This loosening is not a release. It is a gradual widening. Awareness does not return all at once. It drifts back in fragments, softly, without urgency. Neural rhythms continue to evolve gently. Lighter synchronization becomes more frequent, though deep patterns remain present. The brain maintains integration while allowing responsiveness to increase. This balance ensures that when awareness reappears, it does so smoothly, without disruption. Hormonal signals follow suit. Cortisol continues its gradual rise, still measured and controlled. Melatonin slowly recedes, not disappearing, but stepping back. The endocrine system transitions without contrast, preserving stability throughout the process. Metabolic regulation adjusts accordingly. Energy availability increases slightly in potential, not in use. Cells complete their repair work and maintain readiness. The body does not demand action. It simply allows flexibility to return. Cardiovascular rhythms remain calm and adaptable. Heart rate stays slow but responsive. Blood pressure remains low. Vascular tone adjusts subtly, supporting the gradual return of activity without strain. Respiration remains automatic, though breaths may deepen slightly. This change is not intentional. It reflects increased responsiveness, not effort. Breathing continues to support equilibrium without drawing attention. The immune system remains balanced and ready. Repair is complete. Surveillance remains passive. The system holds resilience without activation. Muscle tone begins to increase subtly, restoring baseline readiness without tension. The body remains comfortable, supported, and unhurried. The sense of physical boundaries becomes slightly clearer, though still soft. Awareness may flicker briefly, a vague sensation, a passing image, a sense of presence without thought. These flickers are not awakenings. They are signs that consciousness is re-entering gently, without claiming control. Time begins to regain structure, but only faintly. There is still no urgency, no demand. The system remains calm as it widens its field. This is not the end of sleep. It is the easing of it. The night does not drop away. It recedes slowly, ensuring that nothing feels abrupt. There is no need to follow this return, no need to assist it. Awareness will arrive when it is ready. For now, the night loosens its hold gently, allowing the body and mind to remain calm, balanced, and supported as the transition continues in its own time. As the night continues to ease its grip, awareness does not arrive as a thought or a decision. It arrives as a presence, a gentle knowing without direction. The body remains at rest, but the field of experience begins to widen quietly, without urgency. Neural activity reflects this widening. Patterns of lighter synchronization appear more consistently, interwoven with deeper rhythms that still anchor rest. The brain does not switch modes. It layers them. This layering allows awareness to return without disrupting the restorative processes that are still completing themselves. The prefrontal regions, long quiet, begin to regain subtle activity. This activity does not produce planning or judgment. It supports orientation, a basic sense of being here. Identity does not return yet. There is only presence without narrative. Hormonal rhythms continue their gradual transition. Cortisol rises to support circulation and metabolic readiness, still well below levels associated with stress. Melatonin recedes further, loosening the boundary of night. The endocrine system maintains overlap, ensuring continuity rather than contrast. Metabolic systems remain balanced. Energy availability increases slightly, but usage remains low. Cells do not shift into action. They maintain readiness without demand. The body preserves efficiency by allowing flexibility to return slowly. Cardiovascular regulation reflects this state. Heart rate remains calm and adaptable. Blood pressure stays within its low range. Vascular tone supports gentle responsiveness. Circulation remains smooth, without stimulation. Respiration may deepen subtly. Breaths remain slow, but fuller. This change is not intentional. It reflects increased responsiveness, not effort. Breathing continues to support equilibrium without drawing attention. The immune system remains stable and quiet. Repair is complete. Surveillance remains passive. Resilience holds without activation. Muscle tone increases slightly, restoring baseline readiness without tension. The body remains supported. There is no impulse to move. Physical boundaries become clearer, but still soft. Awareness may flicker more frequently now. A sensation of warmth, a vague sense of position, a feeling of being present without needing to act. These flickers are not awakenings. They are gentle re-entries. Time begins to regain faint structure. Moments feel slightly more distinct, but sequence remains loose. There is still no urgency, no requirement to engage. Importantly, awareness does not take control. It does not issue commands. It does not evaluate. It simply exists, resting alongside the body rather than directing it. This phase protects gentleness. It ensures that when waking does occur, it will feel natural rather than forced. The body does not rush. The mind does not push. Nothing needs to be done with this presence. Nothing needs to follow it. It will remain soft as long as it is allowed to be. The night has not ended. It has simply made room, so awareness can return without breaking the calm. There is a quiet threshold where sleep and waking overlap, not as opposites, but as states that briefly coexist. In this space, the body remains deeply calm, while awareness becomes clearer, still unburdened by responsibility. Neural coordination reflects this overlap. Lighter rhythms increase their presence, but deeper patterns remain active beneath them. The brain maintains restoration while allowing responsiveness. This coexistence ensures that nothing needs to restart. Everything transitions smoothly. Sensory systems begin to regain clarity. Sounds may register with slightly more definition. Light, if present, may be perceived faintly through closed eyes. Sensation returns without demand. The brain does not prioritize response. It simply allows information to exist. Hormonal timing continues its measured progression. Cortisol supports circulation and metabolic balance. Melatonin continues to step back. The endocrine system preserves continuity, preventing abrupt shifts. The body remains protected from shock. Metabolic regulation remains precise. Energy stores are available, but unused. Cellular repair has concluded. Maintenance gives way to readiness without activation. The body holds itself gently between states. Cardiovascular rhythms remain calm and adaptable. Heart rate stays slow. Variability remains high. Circulation supports organs evenly. There is no strain, no push toward activity. Respiration remains steady. Breaths may feel fuller, more noticeable, but still effortless. The brainstem maintains rhythm without interruption. Oxygen delivery matches modestly increase demand without excess. Muscle tone returns gradually. The body regains its sense of form without tension. There is still no need to move. Stillness remains comfortable. Awareness becomes clearer now. Not sharp, not directed, simply present. The sense of self begins to form faintly, but without urgency or evaluation. There is no narrative yet, only presence. Time regains more structure, but remains gentle. Moments feel distinguishable, though not demanding. The system does not hurry. It allows continuity to guide transition. This threshold exists to preserve calm. Without it, waking would feel abrupt. With it, the return to awareness remains fluid and kind. The body protects itself by overlapping states rather than switching between them. Nothing pulls you forward yet. Nothing holds you back. You rest in the overlap, where sleep has not ended and waking has not begun. When the time comes, awareness will sharpen naturally. For now, the system remains balanced, holding both states softly, ensuring that whatever comes next will arrive without resistance. Even before the idea of morning exists, the body begins to respond to subtle environmental and internal cues. This response is not a call to action. It is a soft alignment. The system adjusts its balance so that awareness, when it returns fully, will do so without friction. Neural activity continues its gradual shift. Lighter rhythms now appear with more regularity, though deeper restorative patterns still anchor the brain. This coexistence allows clarity to return without dismantling calm. The brain does not rush toward thinking. It reopens pathways slowly, preserving stability. Sensory systems regain a little more definition. Sounds may feel slightly closer. Temperature may register more clearly against the skin. These sensations do not demand interpretation. They simply exist, gently reintroducing the body to its environment. Hormonal signals continue their steady progression. Cortisol rises into a range that supports alertness potential, not alertness itself. It stabilizes blood pressure, supports glucose availability, and prepares muscles and circulation without creating urgency. Melatonin continues to recede, allowing the boundary of night to soften rather than break. Metabolic systems respond accordingly. Energy availability increases slightly, though consumption remains low. Cells shift from repair to readiness without engaging in output. The body remains economical, preserving calm while restoring capacity. The cardiovascular system reflects this balance. Heart rate may increase by a few beats, remaining slow and adaptable. Blood pressure stays low but responsive. Vascular tone adjusts subtly, supporting the return of movement without tension. Respiration deepens further, still effortless. Breaths may feel more spacious, filling the chest and abdomen without intention. This change supports increased metabolic readiness without disrupting calm. Muscle tone continues its gradual return. The body regains a clearer sense of form. Limbs feel present without heaviness. There is still no impulse to move. Stillness remains comfortable and unforced. Awareness becomes more continuous now, not sharp, not directive, simply present. The sense of self begins to gather, but without narrative or evaluation. There is no need to decide anything. The mind remains open, receptive. Time begins to regain structure. Moments feel distinct. Sequence returns gently. There is still no urgency. The system allows orientation without demand. This phase exists to protect softness. Without it, waking would feel abrupt, disorienting. With it, the return to awareness feels natural, almost unnoticed. The body prepares without pulling consciousness forward. Nothing needs to be done here. Nothing needs to be thought. The system continues its quiet alignment, ensuring that when the day arrives, it will do so gently. Morning does not begin suddenly. It emerges slowly, woven into the calm of the night, thread by thread. Eventually, without a clear dividing line, waking appears, not as an interruption, but as a continuation. Awareness sharpens, but calm remains. The body does not leave rest behind. It carries rest forward. Neural coordination now favors lighter rhythms, though deeper patterns still echo beneath them. This echo preserves stability, preventing abrupt shifts. The brain regains clarity without abandoning ease. Thought becomes possible, but not mandatory. Sensory perception becomes clearer. Sounds gain definition. Light, even through closed eyes, may register as brightness rather than presence. Sensation returns without urgency. The brain does not demand response. It simply receives. Hormonal balance completes its transition. Cortisol supports alertness potential without stress. Melatonin remains low, but present enough to preserve gentleness. The endocrine system finishes its overlap, ensuring continuity rather than contrast. Metabolic systems become ready for action, though action is not required yet. Energy availability increases. Cells hold resources without expending them. The body remains efficient, prepared without tension. The cardiovascular system adjusts smoothly. Heart rate increases slightly, remaining flexible. Blood pressure supports circulation without strain. Vascular tone allows movement without resistance. The system remains adaptable. Respiration remains steady and full. Breathing supports increased oxygen demand effortlessly. The rhythm remains calm, guided automatically rather than intentionally. Muscle tone returns to baseline readiness. The body feels present, supported, capable. There is still no need to move immediately. Stillness remains an option, not a failure. Awareness becomes clear enough to form thought if needed. Identity returns softly. There is no rush to remember plans or responsibilities. The mind opens gently, carrying the night's calm into the day. Time now feels structured, but not pressing. Moments unfold in sequence without demand. The system does not hurry. It allows orientation to complete itself naturally. This transition is the quiet success of the night. Restoration has completed its work. Readiness has returned without resistance. Calm has not been sacrificed. Nothing needs to be forced here. Nothing needs to be seized. The day can wait its turn. You awaken without losing what the night gave you. Rest remains inside the body, supporting clarity, supporting balance, supporting ease. And as awareness settles fully into the morning, the calm you rested in does not disappear. It becomes the foundation upon which the day can gently begin. As wakefulness becomes complete, the most important thing is not that the body is ready to move, but that it does not forget how to remain calm. This is the final gift of the night: continuity. The nervous system does not reset to zero. It carries forward the regulation it practiced for hours. Neural activity now favors waking rhythms, yet the brain retains a residual softness. Alpha waves remain present beneath active patterns, supporting ease and emotional stability. This layered activity allows focus without tension, awareness without urgency. The mind is awake, but it is not braced. The prefrontal cortex resumes its coordinating role gradually. Planning and evaluation return, but they do not dominate. Cognitive control is available rather than imposed. This is why mornings, after deep, uninterrupted sleep, often feel clearer, lighter, and less reactive. Hormonal balance reflects this integration. Cortisol supports alertness and energy mobilization without tipping into stress. Melatonin has largely receded, but its influence lingers as gentleness rather than sedation. The endocrine system completes its transition smoothly, avoiding abrupt contrast. Metabolic systems engage fully but efficiently. Glucose becomes available to muscles and the brain without spikes. Insulin sensitivity remains high, allowing cells to use energy cleanly. The body enters the day without metabolic strain. The cardiovascular system supports this shift seamlessly. Heart rate and blood pressure rise to waking levels without overshoot. Vascular tone remains flexible. Circulation adapts to movement without resistance. The system remains responsive, not reactive. Breathing becomes fuller and more dynamic, yet remains automatic. The respiratory rhythm supports increased oxygen demand without conscious effort. There is no sense of strain. The body breathes itself into the day. Muscle tone settles into readiness. Strength is available without stiffness. The body feels capable rather than tense. Movement, when it occurs, is supported by balance rather than force. Emotionally, the system remains regulated. Limbic activity is responsive, but not exaggerated. Feelings arise without overwhelming the system. This emotional steadiness reflects the overnight integration that occurred without awareness. Time now feels real again, but not oppressive. Sequence returns without pressure. The day presents itself gently, without demand for immediate response. This phase matters because it determines how the rest of the day unfolds. When waking carries calm forward, resilience increases, reactivity decreases. The nervous system remains flexible rather than brittle. Nothing needs to be rushed. Nothing needs to be forced. The night's work remains present. You are awake now, but you are not separate from the rest you came from. The calm remains inside you, supporting each moment that follows. By the time the day has fully begun, the most profound change is invisible. It is not energy. It is not motivation. It is skill. The body has practiced letting go, and it remembers how. Sleep is not only recovery, it is training. Each night, the nervous system rehearses the sequence of release, lowering vigilance, softening control. redistributing energy, trusting rhythm. When sleep is deep and uninterrupted, this sequence becomes easier to access during the day. Neuroscience shows that well-regulated sleep improves daytime parasympathetic tone. This means the body can return to calm more quickly after stress. Heart rate variability remains higher. Emotional regulation improves. The system becomes more adaptable. Hormonal systems reflect this learning. Cortisol responses become more proportional. Stress hormones rise when needed and fall when no longer useful. The body no longer clings to activation. It lets go efficiently. Metabolic systems benefit as well. Energy is mobilized without excess. Glucose regulation remains stable. The body avoids unnecessary spikes and crashes. Efficiency replaces urgency. Emotionally, experiences move through the system more cleanly. Feelings arise, are processed, and resolve without becoming stuck. The brain has practiced integration during sleep, and it applies that skill automatically. Cognitively, attention becomes more flexible. Focus sharpens without rigidity. Thought flows without compulsion. The mind can engage deeply, then disengage without friction. Physically, the body remains more responsive and less braced. Muscle tone adjusts fluidly. Posture supports ease rather than tension. Movement becomes efficient. This is the lasting effect of letting go at night. It does not remain confined to sleep. It becomes a baseline. The body remembers that it can release effort without losing safety. Positive energy, in scientific terms, is not something added. It is the absence of unnecessary resistance. It is coherence. It is the smooth flow of regulation across systems that trust each other. Each night you let go, this trust deepens. Each morning, it carries forward. Nothing needs to be held so tightly. Nothing needs to be forced to stay together. The body knows how to regulate itself. And tonight, when the day is done, it will remember how to let go again. Returning to that quiet intelligence, where rest begins not with effort, but with safety. As the day unfolds, the body quietly carries a memory that does not live in words. It is not a thought you recall. It is a pattern the nervous system recognizes. The memory of safety from the night remains embedded in rhythm, chemistry, and tone. Neuroscience shows that states experienced repeatedly become easier to access. When the nervous system spends hours each night in deep parasympathetic dominance, the pathways that support calm strengthen. Synaptic connections associated with regulation become more efficient. The body does not need reminders. It recognizes familiar terrain. This is why moments of stillness during the day can suddenly feel grounding. A slow breath, a pause between tasks, a brief, quiet moment. These are not new experiences. They echo the night's state of safety. The body responds immediately because it knows what that state feels like. Heart rate variability reflects this learning. Individuals who experience consistent, deep sleep show greater flexibility in heart rhythms during waking hours. This flexibility allows the system to adapt quickly, moving out of stress states without becoming stuck. The body recovers faster because it remembers how. Hormonal responses follow suit. Stress hormones rise appropriately when needed, then recede without delay. The endocrine system does not cling to activation. It trusts timing. This trust is built overnight, reinforced through repeated cycles of release. Emotionally, this memory appears as resilience. Feelings still arise, Challenges still exist, but emotions move through the system without overwhelming it. The brain has practiced processing without reaction. It knows how to integrate experience instead of holding on to it. Cognitively, the mind benefits as well. Attention sharpens without becoming rigid. Focus deepens without tension. The brain can engage fully, then disengage cleanly. This flexibility mirrors the nightly transition between waking and sleep. Physically, the body remains less braced. Muscle tone adjusts naturally. Posture supports ease rather than defense. Movement becomes efficient. Energy is used where needed, not wasted on unnecessary tension. This memory of safety is not fragile. It does not disappear with distraction. It remains available beneath activity, waiting to be accessed. The body does not forget easily. It remembers what it practices most often. Letting go at night teaches the body that release is not dangerous. That stillness does not mean vulnerability. That safety can exist without control. These lessons do not stay confined to sleep. They shape the baseline state. Nothing needs to be forced to access this memory. It responds best to gentleness, to pauses, to permission. And when the next night arrives, the body will recognize the invitation immediately, returning once again to that familiar state where effort dissolves and safety takes its place. Sleep is not an event that happens once per day. It is a practice the body repeats, refining it over a lifetime. Each night, the nervous system rehearses the same essential sequence: detection of safety, release of vigilance, redistribution of energy, repair, and integration. Healing does not occur through force. It occurs through conditions. Sleep provides those conditions by removing demand. When nothing is required, the body can finally prioritize restoration. This is not passive. It is highly organized, biologically intelligent work. Modern research consistently shows that sleep supports nearly every healing process in the body: tissue repair, immune regulation, metabolic balance, emotional integration, memory consolidation. All depend on the state of deep, uninterrupted rest. Without it, systems compensate. With it, systems thrive. What makes sleep especially powerful is that it does not require belief or effort. You do not have to understand it. You do not have to perform it correctly. The body already knows the sequence. It only needs permission to follow it. This permission is created through consistency, safety, and the absence of pressure. When nights are allowed to unfold naturally, the nervous system stops resisting. It stops checking. It trusts the rhythm. Healing follows trust. Positive energy, as often described, is not something mystical entering the body. It is coherence returning. Systems that were fragmented by stress realign. Signals flow smoothly. Regulation replaces tension. The body feels lighter because it is no longer fighting itself. Over time, this practice changes the baseline. The body becomes easier to calm. The mind becomes easier to quiet. Recovery accelerates. Resilience deepens. Healing becomes less of an emergency response and more of a steady process. Each night reinforces this pattern. Each morning carries its effects forward. The cycle strengthens with repetition. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be fixed. The body already contains the intelligence to heal. When you let go at night, you are not giving up control. You are returning it to the system that knows how to use it best. And when the next night arrives, the body will be ready again. remembering exactly how to rest, how to restore, and how to heal in its own quiet way. At a certain point, healing is no longer something the body actively seeks. It becomes the background condition. When sleep has been deep, consistent, and unpressured, the body stops treating repair as an emergency and begins treating it as maintenance. This shift changes everything. During chronic stress or poor sleep, the body allocates resources reactively. Repair happens only after damage accumulates. In contrast, well-regulated sleep allows the nervous system to anticipate needs. Cellular repair occurs before breakdown. Immune regulation stabilizes before inflammation escalates. Balance replaces compensation. Neuroscientifically, this reflects improved baseline parasympathetic tone. The vagus nerve maintains stronger influence during waking hours, supporting calm circulation, digestion, and emotional regulation. The body remains closer to its resting state, even while active. This proximity reduces wear and tear across systems. Hormonal signaling reflects this efficiency. Stress hormones rise when appropriate, then fall quickly. Growth and repair hormones maintain steady cycles. The endocrine system becomes precise rather than excessive. Energy is mobilized without depletion. Metabolic health benefits as well. Cells respond more effectively to insulin. Glucose is used efficiently. Fat metabolism supports maintenance rather than storage under stress. The body avoids extremes because it no longer expects threat. Emotionally, this background healing state appears as steadiness. Feelings still arise, but they do not linger unnecessarily. The brain integrates experience without reinforcing distress. Emotional recovery accelerates because regulation is already in place. Cognitively, attention becomes less effortful. Focus emerges naturally when needed and releases cleanly afterward. Mental fatigue decreases because the brain is no longer compensating for lack of restoration. Clarity becomes sustainable. Physically, the body feels more at ease. Muscle tension resolves quickly. Posture supports movement without strain. Minor discomforts pass without escalating. The body corrects itself continuously. This is the quiet result of letting go at night. Healing no longer needs to be triggered. It is ongoing. The body maintains itself the way a well-tuned system does, through constant, subtle adjustment. Importantly, this state does not require perfection. Nights do not need to be flawless. What matters is the absence of pressure. When sleep is allowed rather than forced, the system learns to trust the process again. Positive energy, in this context, is not something added. It is the natural byproduct of reduced resistance. When systems stop fighting, coherence emerges. Flow replaces friction. Nothing dramatic announces this shift. There is no moment of realization. Healing simply becomes quieter, steadier, more reliable. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to manage it. The body does this best when left alone. Each night of gentle letting go strengthens this background state until healing no longer feels like recovery, but like the way the system naturally lives. Every night teaches the body something. Even when awareness fades completely, learning continues. The lesson is simple, but profound. Safety allows regulation. When this lesson is repeated often enough, the body stops questioning it. Neural plasticity ensures that repeated states shape future responses. When the nervous system spends hours each night in calm, synchronized rest, the pathways that support this state strengthen. Over time, the body reaches it more easily. Resistance decreases, trust increases. This learning is not cognitive. It does not rely on memory or intention. It is encoded in timing, chemistry, and rhythm. The body remembers how long it can remain still without harm. It remembers that letting go does not lead to loss of control, but to restoration. During the day, this lesson appears subtly. Stressful moments resolve faster. Pauses feel more accessible. The system does not stay activated longer than necessary. Recovery becomes efficient. Emotionally, the body becomes less defensive. Feelings are experienced without bracing. The nervous system allows emotional information to pass through without escalating it. This openness is not vulnerability. It is confidence in regulation. Physiologically, the body maintains balance with less effort. Heart rhythms remain flexible. Breathing stays adaptive. Muscle tone adjusts fluidly. The system does not overcorrect. It trusts its internal signals. Sleep teaches this trust by repetition. Each night reinforces the same message. Nothing bad happens when effort stops. The body repairs itself. The brain reorganizes. The system remains intact. This is why gentle sleep is so powerful. It does not just restore energy, it reshapes expectation. The body stops anticipating threat in stillness. It stops monitoring constantly. It learns to rest. Over time, this lesson becomes permanent. Even during challenge, the body remembers the night. It knows that release is possible, that safety can return, that regulation is not fragile. Nothing needs to be added to this process. Nothing needs to be explained. The body learns through experience alone. And tonight, as you let go again, the lesson will repeat quietly, deepening its imprint, strengthening its pathways, reminding the body once more that rest is not absence, but intelligence at work. As the night reaches its quietest depth, language loses its purpose, not because something is missing, but because nothing needs to be explained anymore. The body has already entered its most settled state, and the mind no longer requires structure to remain safe. Neural activity at this stage is slow, broad, and deeply synchronized. Large networks rest together, rising and falling in unison. These rhythms do not support thinking or remembering. They support continuity. The brain is no longer organizing experience. It is maintaining balance. Any remaining mental activity is fragmentary and brief. A sensation may appear without meaning. A trace of imagery may surface and fade before it forms. These are not thoughts. They are echoes. They pass without resistance because there is no system left to hold on to them. The thalamus maintains its quiet gatekeeping, allowing only minimal sensory information to pass through. External sounds exist as texture rather than signal. Internal sensations lose edges. The distinction between inside and outside becomes unimportant. Experience no longer needs boundaries. Breathing is fully automatic now, shallow and even, perfectly matched to the body's reduced metabolic needs. The diaphragm moves gently. There is no effort anywhere in the respiratory system. Oxygen and carbon dioxide remain balanced without adjustment. Heart rhythms remain slow, flexible, and stable. Variability stays high, signaling deep parasympathetic dominance. The cardiovascular system rests in efficiency, supplying organs steadily without fluctuation. Muscle tone is minimal. The body yields completely to support. There is no sense of holding weight. Gravity exists, but it no longer needs to be negotiated. The body feels present only in the most abstract sense. Emotion does not arise here, not because it is suppressed, but because it has completed its cycle. Integration has finished. Nothing remains unresolved enough to surface. Time has no structure. There is no before, no after. Sequence has dissolved into continuity. The night does not progress in experience. It simply holds. At this depth, even awareness is optional. If it appears, it is faint and unclaimed. If it fades, nothing is lost. The system no longer depends on observation. This is where sleep becomes complete, not dramatic, not noticeable, simply sufficient. Nothing needs to happen next. Nothing needs to be followed. The body has arrived where it needs to be. You do not need to listen anymore. You do not need to remember. The night has taken over fully, and it will continue quietly on its own. Beyond this point, there are no edges left to cross. Rest is no longer something you enter. It is what remains when everything else has gently fallen away. Neural rhythms remain deep and steady, maintaining the internal architecture of sleep without interruption. Repair, regulation, and integration continue beneath awareness, guided entirely by biology. There is no variation, no demand, only consistency. The body rests inside its own timing. Hormones follow their nocturnal patterns without deviation. Metabolism remains low and precise. Immune maintenance continues quietly. Cellular repair unfolds without pause. There is no sensation of the body as an object, no sense of position, no need to adjust. The body exists as function, not form. Breathing continues, soft and rhythmic. The heart continues, slow and adaptable. Circulation supports life without effort. Every system moves together without friction. If awareness appears at all, it is diffuse and fleeting. It does not gather into thought. It does not hold identity. It fades naturally, like a ripple settling back into still water. There is nothing to attend to here, nothing to release, nothing to complete. This is not an ending. It is the absence of need for one. You are safe now. Everything is quiet. Everything is supported. Drift away. Drift away. Drift away. There is nothing new being said now, only a gentle continuation. The body remains completely supported, resting inside its own quiet rhythm. Neural activity stays slow and unified, moving like wide, calm waves that no longer carry information, only timing. These waves do not ask for awareness. They do not invite attention. They simply continue. Breathing flows in and out without depth or effort, so soft it barely registers. Each breath blends into the next, indistinguishable, uncounted. The body does not mark them. The night holds the rhythm for you. The heart continues its slow, flexible pattern. There is no anticipation, no correction. Circulation moves evenly, quietly, without urgency. Every system knows exactly what to do and has no reason to hurry. Sound, if it exists at all, is no longer separate from silence. It becomes texture rather than signal, a distant hum, a low, continuous tone, something felt rather than heard. The brain does not orient toward it. It lets it pass through. The sense of having a body is now only a suggestion. There is no weight to manage, no edges to define. Gravity exists, but it does not matter. The body rests without needing to know where it is. Thought does not form here. Memory does not assemble. Even drifting images have dissolved. There is no story unfolding. Nothing about to happen. Nothing left unfinished. Time no longer moves forward. It spreads outward, becoming indistinct. There is no before, no next. Only this continuous, unbroken rest. If awareness appears, it fades before it can settle. If it does not appear, nothing is missing. You do not need to stay with these words. You do not need to follow the sound. You do not need to listen anymore. Everything important is already happening beneath awareness, quietly, accurately, without effort. You are safe now, and there is nothing else to do. Now even these words are no longer needed. The body rests completely on its own, carried by rhythms older than thought. The brain remains in deep coordination, alternating rest and renewal without interruption. Repair continues, integration continues, balance maintains itself. Breathing moves softly, unseen. The heart continues, steady and adaptable. Circulation flows, cells restore. The system remains whole. There is no awareness required for this. No attention improves it. No listening deepens it. Sleep does not depend on presence. It does not depend on memory. It does not depend on you staying here. You are safe. Everything is calm. Everything is supported. Drift away. Drift away. Drift away. And as the sound gently fades, the night continues on its own, holding the body in rest, long after the last word has disappeared. You are safe now. Nothing needs to be held. Nothing needs to be finished. Breathing continues on its own. The body knows the rhythm. The night carries everything gently. Drift away. Drift away. Drift away.